This 2004 Mazda 3 with a 2.3 liter engine. Doing the cylinder head gasket replacement on this car. If you're a decent mechanic, it's straightforward mechanics. But there is one thing that is going to kick your butt. Taking it off and putting it back on. And it is that bolt holding the crank pulley on. Harmonic balancer, whatever you want to call it. I've got a video up already on how we got it off, which is basically putting a socket and ratchet on here, blocking it down onto the concrete with an extension, and then using bumping the starter with the key, somebody inside there, to actually turn the engine over to loosen that bolt. That's how we got it loose. If you had a nice strong impact with a lot of air, probably worked just fine. I don't. Getting this thing on here is just as much of a challenge. So briefly, what I did, you can see I've got the bolt in here to keep the pulley lined up for timing reasons with the crankshaft position sensor there. Obviously, don't just use this because this bolt gets torqued down to 75 foot-pounds initially, and then another 90 degrees past that 75 foot-pounds. And I don't know what kind of torque that is, but it's a lot. So I've got this bolt in here. I still have the, if you're familiar with the timing process on here, I've still got the pin in here blocking the crank from turning, which, you know, don't use just those two things to keep the engine from turning while you're trying to torque that bolt down. I've still got the blade in the back of the cams here now that everything's tied together, which is helping keeping the thing from turning. I'm also using this contraption, pulling this way, pointing where my thumb is, pulling this way, and then having this contraption all on here. This is all half-inch drive. You can see I got my dial indicator there, and it's finally at 90. This is all half-inch drive. I got a long breaker bar on here, and I ended up having to use a cheater bar on that, and this is the end of my jack handle, and I slid this up over this handle, and I mean, I was up here and I was freaking bouncing on this thing to get it to 90. My God. But I finally got it. And one other thing I noticed, right now I've got a 13/16. Let me find it. Yeah, it's a 13/16 on there. I think that's actually was it a 20 or 21 millimeter bolt, but that 13/16 holds it better, or at least it did on this car. So good luck with yours. Dude, it's a lot of torque.